representing StarCraft Ascension here on the European ladder. It's the Orange Terran player, Coldscars, aka I Love Bjorn.
We're happy for him because he's wearing that beautiful color. And in the upper left, it is in the purple, our typically meching player, Goody.
I like how his clan tag is like ESC EU, because I'm pretty sure all the players from ESC are on EU. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be that neat differentiated, but alright, we'll see how this game goes. Now, Coldscars, I gotta say, unfortunately, I haven't got to cast him a lot, but I do know he's on StarCraft Ascension and Ord. I pretty much love everybody on that team, what it boils down to.
They're kind of awesome. I like them all too, and it's awesome that Coldscars actually made it this far. This is round 6 game, correct?
This is round 6, I believe, yes. So prior to the grid.
And what do we have here?
Something not so typical out of Goody. Now, guys, spoiler alert, we are casting this from a replay. This is, it's just reported 3 seconds ago, pretty much what happens this game, but nonetheless, it keeps it exciting, because this is something we haven't seen Goody ever really do. Goody is not a player I can ever say that, at least in recent days, that I've cast doing a proxy, anything, regardless of what comes out of it. And I don't know, this is going to be really interesting, because Bjorn, or sorry, not Bjorn, I love Bjorn, is going to have a lot of difficult dealing with whatever comes out of this. A proxy is never fun, and the fact that this is 1 Rax, not 2, not going to be Marines, will most likely open Reaper. We'll have to see if he transitions into anything else, but again, Goody, someone who's got some really good control, would love to see how this works.
If he produces the... Oh, Marine first. Alright, I thought he was going to go with Reaper for sure, and I was in fact expecting like a triple Reaper, and that would have been so hard because we got a tech lab on the way, which lets us know Marauders, because I have no foreknowledge, of course.
No, the Marauder's actually kind of cool that comes out of this, because this isn't a new build by any means. This is something that's actually been around for a while. It's not the most effective build, so people don't do it as much anymore. And the catch here is the fact that, yes, there are Marines coming out. If there was a Reaper, as sad and weird as it is to say, one Reaper will trade out with the even concussive shelled Marauders quite effectively, jumping up and down cliffs, trying to use that advantage to their, well, advantage. But the Marauder coming out will take on these Marines head on very nicely, and oh, I love Bjorn has moved the commands, or the barracks, to try and get in for this sneaky factory, but oh my goodness, getting caught off guard by this Marauder.
Marauder is super excited right now. The cancellation immediately, too, so that Marine production can continue. And SCV actually overextended by Goody, so he might have to send a second one down there, and these 2 Marauders are going to hook up, hang out, and
I
say,
love
hey,
Bjorn's got the minerals for it. He needs to throw down a bunker. If he doesn't, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
And why does he not have that supply depot up either? And there's only a couple of SCVs. Finally, some more going out there. Marauders doing a great job target firing the Marines. 1 is left, and the Marauders are fairly hurt, but they're beefy units. A 3rd one's going to join up, and is a 4th on the way.
Well, a big problem with this too is these Marauders, they don't heal. There are no medevacs. They will get low, but as long as they live, they're still a big threat. They're not quite Reapers by any means, but these Marines, as we see here, cannot quite contend with it. 1 does go down to the SCVs. A citizen's arrest is made. Woodmine is out. I love Bjorn looking to hold on for a little bit longer here.
Yeah, we had 6 units killed over all their 2 workers were killed by Goody, but I love Bjorn, aka Coldscars. He did get that 1 SCV kill. That's a nice little win for him. If Goody had been able to plant a bunker on the high ground, that would have been devastating. Now we see a transition into a command center for Goody, and he's just going to hang out and bring in the racks for the high ground vision.
But the Widowmines here will help deal with these Marauders quite nicely, and the couple of Marines that are left should be able to clean this up. I mean, ooh, actually, maybe not. Losing that supply depot is going to be irritating.
Marines, what are you doing? And the Widowmine's going to get targeted down. Great timing reaction there out of Goody. That's infuriating if you're playing against it. Supply depot goes down, and Coldscars is now supply blocked.
He is going for Cloak Banshees, though. I mean, the Cloak may be a little bit of an overkill, as the Banshee itself would deal with this. Scan will, clean up that Widowmine. Unfortunately, one of the last lines of defense.
The last one does stay alive, but there's nothing. There's nothing to protect him now at this point. He's got a long way to go before that Cloak Banshee
more
enters
SCVs
the
being
fray.
needlessly pulled right now, too. A little unfortunate of that choice, but again, these Marauders are a big threat. They can start focusing on these tech labs, doing a ton of damage.
Marine dies the moment it comes into existence, and Coldscars losing more and more SCVs here. Only 2 Marauders are left, and they're both a little injured, but still...
They can kite all day is the thing. And he's picking up a lot of workers to make... Oh, I love that. Purposely going in, forcing the splash damage on those SCVs. What am I playing against Coldscars here? And GoOdy, just going to be quite abusive. Continuing this, he's actually got the Viking coming out. I guess he scouted the star. Did he? No, he actually has no idea that the starport's out. So, an interesting choice. I guess playing very defensive. Doesn't want to get dropped with the counter, but will work out nicely to deal with the Banshee either way.
Yeah, and it looks like he's seen this response kind of often because he's also got the missile turret in the main, missile turret on the right-hand side. He's got the defensive Widow Mines. He knows that he's forced counter-aggression out of his opponent, and at least one kill for the Banshee so far, but the Vikings are on...
Oh, but he walks into the range of that turret for detection. Scan does go down.
And the two Vikings clean it up.
And the big thing for GoOdy is he's got that second command center already done. He's got the orbital already made. He is so far ahead of where I Love Beyond is right now. Coldscars can try and go for a counterattack, but he's very limited on what he can do. Widow Mine's going across the field right now wouldn't be too bad, but this tank, all he's got to do is siege this tank and everything gets zoned out.
And we've got Ravens coming out for both players. And the Rax slowly but surely is going to make its way home. Alabian trying to be aggressive, looking for a way to do damage. Vikings, oh, GoOdy is good. Able to see that. Misses the actual kill, but forces the Banshee to retreat.
I still can't... I'm going over this in my brain order, and I really just wish if Coldscars had opened with a Reaper, I don't think he would have taken nearly as much damage as he did. Because as we see this transition into the mid-game, GoOdy's just going to pull further and further. He's currently up 10 workers, and that's going to just start to snowball once the second orbital is down and mining. Meanwhile, we're going to have a mech follow-up to the... No, wait, maybe not. We got... Okay, equal amount of factories and barracks on the field. We'll have to wait and see, but I love that both players went for the Raven. The big thing about the Raven is it saves the scans for the Banshees that for GoOdy's end, but also for Coldscars here, it's going to allow for Seeker missiles, it's going to allow for the point defense drones against any further Marauders if they were on the field. So a very precautionary Raven, but a good Raven nonetheless. Not to mention its own Widow Mine problems.
Yeah, not a bad auto turret there. As Coldscars trying to be creative with his Widow Mines, trying to do what he can, realizing he's behind, has actually not even bothered to build that second command center. Probably going to go with the one base aggression at this point. He's got a couple of tanks out there, which gives him a chance, I'll say. He's actually ahead in supply overall.
Yeah, but there's that window is going to start slowly... Like, there's a clock. By this command center being not only here, but mining and an orbital, there's a big clock that is ticking very fast. Like, you know on the news, Fox News, that doomsday clock that everyone... I mean, that's exactly what he's got going for him right now. He's pulled the SUVs, he's going to go for it. I commend Coldscars, because this is probably one of his best and only really options at this point.
All of a sudden, this army becomes huge. Hellbats, such a good choice by GoOdy. They're going to do a great job against the SUVs when they arrive.
Yeah, I mean, the Banshee's here, and if that Banshee, like, this is a big if he can win the air fight, there's 2 Vikings to Ravens, and 1 Raven versus 2 Vikings to 1 Raven. If he can clear out that air, he could get in with the Viking, or say the Banshee do some damage with the turret going down. Gonna change that entirely. SCVs being on the front lines, getting melted.
And Siege Tank's not sieged at all. Marines barely.
Well, it's better than
SCV's doing so good, actually.
It's better that the tanks weren't sieged. It would take a lot longer to siege, and he would have lost a lot of the essential DPS. But Auto Turret's going to try and protect this. Nice pickup by GoOdy. Will drop these on the tanks. But still, cleaned up nonetheless. The Coldscars looking to do a ton of damage here, but the production of GoOdy is humming. He's producing 3 Hellbats at a time, and these tanks for now will do decent, but as these Marines fall, as the auto turrets disappear, this Viking actually should probably land, because GoOdy, his reinforcement wave, should be able to actually push forward into this. And, I mean, Coldscars, if he had an expansion up behind this, if he didn't pull every single SUV, maybe he'd still be in the game. But guys, you gotta remember, what he has right here is pretty much all he's going to have on the field.
I don't know why he's taking so long down here. He's got to know that the real threat is the reproduction and the scan on the high ground. He sees what's up there, and God, he just pushed up.
Banshee will try and zone this tank out, but there's that Widow Mine to worry about. The Banshee's got to be careful.
Oof.
But if he can pick off these tanks, he might be able to push up here.
Tank does go down.
But there are more being produced. That command center is currently burning, but Coldscars Just hanging out with these tanks. I mean, it's understandable why he's not pushing. He knows the Widow Mine's there, but again, that clock is still ticking. Even though the command center is down, he's got 4 SCVs on the field. He's got no real follow-up to this.
Oh, the Widow Mine can't hit anything at the moment as long as these Marines move out of there. Hellbats coming in.
Oh, the
with
tanks on siege.
tanks.
Nothing to deal with the Hellbats.
Oh, there's no buffer in front of them. And 12 supply.
It's one Banshee versus the army, and it could kill this army eventually, but the problem is there's nothing else on the field. Coldscars, well played. GG.